Yo, 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 what's happening? It's your boy, CD Rome, back with another episode of Watching Narrative Podcast presents Truth by Rome. So if you don't know, this podcast is a little different. It is more intimate, I think. More intimate. I think it's, what we do here is we actually invite someone on to have a discussion, whether it's life, whether it's basketball, music, you name it. We talk about everything. But it gets a chance for you to get to know the individuals that I bring on. And then we also talk about, we talk about 2K, of course, things like that. So we just have a whole full discussion. And we appreciate you guys being here for it, Narrative Nation. So today, one of my guests is a person I met here recently. I actually met it through playing in our 2K league. I think that I don't want to give this guy too much of a big ups because he already gets enough, but I think he's one of the better versatile 2K players. I haven't seen him actually play in real life ball, but he say he can cook. He say he can really, really cook. He's about 6'4", 6'5", lefty. Said he got a nice shot. I don't know, but I will say this: the people who do watch this, if you know this gentleman that I'm about to introduce, I want you to tell me in the comments, can this guy really hoop? I want to know, because he said he plays for Rise, and he said he'd be going to different tournaments and cooking people up. But hey, without further ado, let me invite this gentleman on. We got Josh Davis. We know him as Josh 2Swift on 2K. So, Josh, hey man, welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you for having me, man.
Hey man, what's going on, man? You doing all right, brother?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. How about yourself, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good, man. Happy to have you on, man. Happy to have you on. So
Appreciate
Josh
you.
is the guy I met, like I said before, through 2K playing the game, and actually was one of the guys I first drafted, man. One of my first draftees in season one. And honestly, we probably would have won the title, but that's neither here nor there. His player caught an injury, or in real life, he actually went to play in a real life tournament. Did you guys at least win that tournament?
Um, nah, we went against Rock Boys with the
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
no, yeah. I
Hey,
don't gotta say too much about that one. You
yeah,
already know
yeah,
how they
yeah. No,
are.
yeah. You say the name Rock Boys, we already,
Yeah.
we already know. No, so but listen, man. Hey, appreciate you coming on. And for the people who don't know, you're from Orlando.
Yeah,
Were you born and raised in Orlando, or like where?
yeah. Born and raised. Born and
Mhm.
raised.
Okay. Well, tell me about. I know a little bit about a little bit about your parents and stuff like that. Tell me a little bit about your upbringing, like how that was like, coming up in Orlando.
Um, well, for starters, my father and my mom, my dad was the scholarship for for a long period of time. So me growing up, I wasn't growing up as a witness, you know. So my mom was a single mom at one point. Then they eventually got married when I was like 8 or 9, around there. But growing up, it was tough because it was 9 years. We were celebrating Christmas,
Yeah.
birthdays, um, stuff like that, and trying to because all the truth and all that stuff for a 9 year old for me was new to me. I just knew we went to this place every Thursday and
Yeah.
Sunday, and I think they used to do the used to be two midweek
Yeah, two
meetings.
meetings. Yeah, two
Yeah,
meetings.
and I remember that. I'm like, I don't know what this stuff is for.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
as I grew up and started to learn the truth, it kind of dawned on me of why we're doing it and why about Jehovah and whatnot. But it was a little bit of a struggle, you know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because I still wanted my birthdays and all that. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's tough. I know. Same, like literally, kind of got the same, a similar story where my mom didn't. I was probably like 8 or 9. So the only thing was we was like super poor. So like for me, like I remember, some of the birthdays, the holidays, the Halloweens,
yeah,
literally Halloween for us was putting holes in a sheet and
yeah.
literally going out there like we was a ghost. Like that was it. Like we was, we couldn't afford costumes, So it was
Mhm.
like, I remember those days too. And it's different like when you're used to doing that, then next thing you know, as a kid for sure, like you
Yeah.
got to explain, like what's going on. How was that like in school for you? Like,
Um, Honestly, it didn't really start until like middle school because that's when I had to stop, standing up for the flag or whatnot.
yeah.
And people said, "Hey, Josh, like, why don't you stand up for the flag or whatnot anymore?" And I had to explain to them why. Then I never really got picked on because I was one of the popular kids. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It wasn't really too bad. I mean, there was moments where I was scared to talk about the truth or whatnot, but
Yeah.
that's everybody.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I don't care how he is. Yeah. Yeah. You had those moments. Yeah. So like going into, I guess, spending a little bit sports, mainly basketball. Like, when was it the first time that you picked up, or do you remember picking up a basketball?
My sister used to tell me the story when I was younger. When I was 3 years old, that's when I first picked up a basketball. Um, she told me a story how I was in a basketball game. We're in the game, we're playing, and instead of me playing, like I ran out of the gym to go grab a Gatorade. And that story that's, that that story stuck with me for the longest. But
Yeah.
yeah, I've been playing basketball for a very long time, but I really didn't start to understand basketball until I say I was about 13.
Mm.
So it took a minute for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And at 13, like, how tall were you at that time?
I was short. I didn't have a growth spurt until my 10th grade year in high school. So
Hmm.
I think I was 13. I was about 5'4".
Oh, yeah. It always be the really short guys. Like, because I was probably about at 13, 14, let me see, 14, I probably was like already 5'9". So everybody was like, oh, you're gonna be so tall and all this other, you gonna be tall.
Yeah.
Man, I grew 2 more inches, you know. Like, golly. So like it's always be those guys that be like 5'4", 5'5". Next thing you know, they like come over from the summer. You like,
Yeah,
oh,
that's literally what it was. I remember I grew because when I hit 8th grade, that's when I started to like grow. Like, because I went from 5'3", from seventh to eighth, I went from 5'4" or 5" or something like that to like 5'11".
mm-hmm,
So like
mm-hmm.
over the summer, I grew.
Yeah,
Once I hit my sophomore year, I hit 6'5". So
yeah, yeah. Was that like hard though? Like, because a lot of people like you grow too fast and it's like you become like awkward or like as far as your game go.
um yeah, it was I wouldn't say for game wise. For game wise, I think it kind of helped me, but like clothes wise, oh my gosh, I was I couldn't suits
Yeah,
anything. I grew out of it
yeah.
like in a matter of seconds. So like it was hard for me buying clothes,
Hmm.
But game wise, I think it helped. It definitely helped me.
Yeah, yeah. Because I think that, like, especially I guess if you grow too, like, to me, when I remember it's a lot of guys. It was just one guy in Selma where I grew up. He played
Mm-hmm.
for the local college. I used to call him Doofy.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause he probably was like 6'10", 6'11". I absolutely, my biggest pet peeve is when a guy is, headed, 6'10", 6'11", and now he wasn't no outside big or anything. He was an inside guy. He was just soft though. He was
Yeah.
just soft, like letting guys that were probably like 6'4", 6'5", moving him out the way. Like,
Mm-hmm.
brother, like, bro, you 6'10", 6'11", man, you better bang on this guy. You know what I'm saying? So he moved very stiff, very like he just, a guy who just looked too, like he looks too tall, like he just grew up like so fast that
Yeah.
he couldn't control his body. I put it
Yeah.
that way. Like, so that's why I was asking as far as like with you, was that like a struggle from like being 5'4", 5'11", and probably been a little, maybe even quicker. I don't know. Did you keep your speed like when you shot
I
up?
I definitely lost my speed.
Mhm.
I did notice, but game wise, because I was younger, I always had a handle, so I was always able to dribble. I was always able to like get to my spots or whatnot. But growing, because once I hit 8th grade, they started putting me at big. So like now, like you said, I didn't know how to play big. So I'm over here, 5'10" in 8th grade, playing for the middle school team, not playing like a big. So like
Yeah, yeah,
for 7th and 8th grade, as I started to grow and whatnot during AAU, I kind of learned how to play big, but that was probably the only struggle, like learning the big man side of it.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. Who taught you like who taught you how to play? Who was like I guess the person that kind of took you on their wing? Was it your pops or was somebody else?
It was my pops. So like
Mm,
when I was younger, my dad played every Sunday. They had a league game. He used to play in the men's league, and there's his team was very good. Like
mhm.
every season they won. Um, but he had a couple dudes on this team that helped. Like he had this dude named Robbie, shoot lights out. I forgot he played college ball somewhere, but I forgot where. Shoot lights out. I promise you, he was Stephen Curry before Stephen Curry got drafted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, and then they had this one dude that taught me how to handle the ball. His name was Norris. Little small joker. It's always the small people with the crazy
Quick,
handles.
quick counters. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he taught me a lot. But my dad, he taught me the X's and O's pretty much. The
Yeah,
IQ of basketball, how to
yeah.
come off screens, how to set down screens, stuff like
Hmm.
that. So
Yeah.
he
So
taught
you graduated what year?
2019.
Okay. So you kind of when you and this is high school, right?
Yeah,
So you were in the basically the craze of what Steph Curry is now, as far as like the way basketball is played now. Like so for me, when I was coming out, it was still it slowly transitioned. I remember when we used to go, whether it's to the Y or just anywhere, just to the gym, workout, shooting shots.
yeah,
Me personally, because I was complete opposite. So I was very athletic. So when I was middle school, 5'9", I wasn't the tallest person on the team, but I was like one of the taller people on the team.
right,
But I was super athletic, could jump out the gym. So for me, I was a power forward immediately. So I kind of knew, when we used to practice Tim Duncan, the bank shot, bank shot, mid range, bank shot. It was never really three ball. But
right,
by the time I got to like high school, it slowly transitioning. Like, because even when I used to go back to the gym, I still would always start in out layups, mid range, free throw line extension, and then I would go out to the three ball. But
right.
those guys came in the gym, it was just threes. That's all they wanted to shoot was three. So it was kind of like it was slowly transitioning from the three ball. But I guess my question is this: do you feel like so many kids now that they see Steph Curry and all they want to do is shoot threes? Do you feel like that hurts the IQ part of the game? Because you brought that up, like the IQ part of the game is, do people hunt the three too much instead of sometimes taking advantage of what may be a mismatch on the inside? What do you feel? What do you feel about that?
Um, I think it does at certain moments in the game. It does ruin the IQ part of the game because when people, let's say you're down 1 point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of no, yeah, down 1 point. Instead of people, taking the midi or the layup, they decide to take a three.
Yeah.
A three, why? And like this, I have a buddy. He can shoot, but instead of him, get into his spots, because nobody in this day and age, there's only two levels of scoring, and that is a layup or dunk
Yeah.
or a 3-pointer. Nobody's ever expecting you to
Pull
do
up.
two dribbles, pull. Nobody's expecting that.
Yep.
You'll catch so many people off guard with that just one simple move,
Yep.
and it is definitely ruining the this generation of basketball. I don't even put myself in that generation
Yeah.
because my dad taught me same thing with you, mid range, then work your way
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Like my mid game, I probably choose probably the like my keystone of my game. I work the midi first, then once I'm feeling comfortable. If you see me hit a three, more than two
You're
threes in a row, oh
you're hot. You're hot. It's
I'm
over
hot. I'm hot. That's it. I'm hot.
with.
I'm
Yeah.
hot.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that. Like it was always like for same thing with me. If people, because nobody, everybody knew three ball wasn't my thing. Like I could hit. I was a decent three ball. Like if I was to put a 2K rating on it, I would say like a 79. You know,
Mhm.
but then if I got hot steaming, oh yeah, man, there was no way then. It because a lot of people the way they would play off me because I was quick. I used to pride myself on like game planning. Like even now, I think even in 2K, that's one of the things that I feel like I pride myself on is being prepared. You know, that's why my team is really struggling in the regular season because you're still trying to figure out everyone else. But once I get you figured out, your team,
Yeah.
oh, it's over with. Because then my game plan, and it's detailed. It ain't just, I'm send him this way, send him that way. He doesn't like shooting going left. So even in real life, like what I used to do is when I had ups or I walk to a gym, let's say if it's a player I never seen play before,
Yeah.
I already know I'm one of, like most of the time when I was on the court, I was, one of the more quicker guys laterally. So I knew
Mhm.
I was going to be guarding probably the point guard or like one of the better perimeter players. So I always would just steady, like all I would need was probably maybe 3 to 4 possessions. I may not have everything in your bag, but I'm already peeping like, okay, when he goes left, he kind of shies away from going left. He likes to maybe stop him and do a pull up. That's because he probably can't finish left when he's going to the rim, or if he's going right, he likes to pull up going right. He don't pull up going left. He likes to step back. I'm literally watching everything, even
Yeah.
if it's a pick and roll. I'm watching how the guy sets the pick. Is he, turning off the right way? Is he, because that's even an art as well that you learn like fundamentally. Like I watch NBA basketball sometimes and I see guys set a pick and instead of opening up, they turn all the way around. And I'm like, oh, that is terrible. That is terrible basketball.
It's funny that you mentioned that because that's one thing I speak because in today's basketball, people think that there's a size limit to setting screens.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Even a person like me needs a screen, and I'm 6'5".
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, opening up that is key because you don't because I can get so many passes to a person
Yes. Just
if we just
pocket pass right there.
open up every single time. Then here's another pet peeve of mine: you set a screen and you pop. Ooh, no, a pop, a pop,
Yep.
and you gotta read it. Like I understand if
Gotta
the
read.
dude's sagging, you pop. But if he's playing high and you don't slip that screen,
Go.
what, in that one, you don't even gotta really turn. You just run to the basket.
Yep.
But
Yep.
yeah, that is those are the pet peeves of mine, man.
Yeah, that's the IQ piece of it. That's the IQ piece of it. That's why, like, like I do the coaching thing now. My hooping career is over, but I still do the coaching thing, like, because I still can think the game, still love to watch the game, and kind of like I guess the new podcast with Mind the Game. I'm a basketball nerd when it comes to stuff like that. So let's switch a little bit though, because we talked about, a little bit of your upbringing, a little bit of the game of basketball. So like, I guess from a standpoint, let's go to 2K. Let's go to 2K. Let's go to the league, Z League, MMA League, the league,
The
uh,
league. That's what
and
we gotta do now. Just the league.
the league, the league, the league.
The
So
league.
like, I'm gonna start with because this is watching narrative. This is watching narrative. So there has been a narrative that has been shifted around Josh 2Swift. Some of it self-inflicted. Some of it is people doing too much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so, like, some people say you're a troll. I'm one of them. You're a huge troll, and you know how to get up under people's skin. Like even today, the question that you asked today, such a troll. That was such a troll, such a troll moment. And I gotta tell it because for the people who don't know, so like, no, if you gotta listen to the podcast, I had a full podcast that talked about some things and what happened in the league, and Josh wanted to bring that up at the wrong time, right? In front of the wrong person, wrong people. Just being messy, just being a troll, man. Just being a troll. So, like, with that being said, looking at like that narrative that has, do you feel like that's been wrongly placed on you, or what do you feel, or do you
Um,
feel like that's been you earned it?
it's definitely been wrongly placed. Okay, because the reason I say that because there's a lot of people that did far worse than what I've done, and there's only one thing I will probably take account of. Well, I will take accountability for, is with the situation with you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
The one you know who I'm talking about. So
I
that is
think
the only one I would say, okay, that was wrong. That was on me. You know?
starts with a T.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay, I'm with you there. I'm with you there.
That's the only one. But the other ones, why? Like, why? And the people that been in chats with me, they, I'm never the one to, I might troll you, but I'm never the one to start, you know, the confrontation, if that makes sense. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? I might troll you a little bit to get up under your skin, but I'm never the one to
Yeah,
grab at somebody. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So it's definitely, I feel like it's definitely wrongly placed because there's people that have done in the chat that's done way worse than what I've said. So
Yeah. So I think that, from my perspective, like, I first of all, I appreciate you kind of, kind of speaking to that one little, because honestly, that was even the one thing that I even felt like, oh man, he went too far with that one. And I've always, there's a few people that have done things, even myself, I may have said something that, like I've had to go back and, text somebody, call somebody, even go in their face, like, hey bro, I ain't, my fault. Even this, honestly, even the situation that happened with me leaving the league, even though I left, I still apologize to the people that I may have, hurt or wronged or whatever, because it's just that's just sometimes you got to be able to stand on that and just say my fault.
yeah,
But there are sometimes though where it can be blown out of proportion, because I think what happened is that even with the, we created the suspension rules and stuff like that, people started using the trolling aspect of it to get people suspended,
yeah,
like wrongfully,
yeah.
it's like it, and then that makes you look like, oh man, this is a joke, which I think at some point, I'm pretty sure it's safe to say you got to that point where just for you, it felt like, man, this is a joke, man. I ain't got time for this.
Yeah.
So, like, how do you overcome that? Because now it seems like everything you do is magnetized compared to others.
Um, I mean, there's really no way to control it. Like, if you really think about it, because if when this person has, perspective of you, then that's just their perspective,
Mm-hmm.
Like, but the people that really know me, so like the people I'm in the chats with constantly,
Yeah.
they know I might be like, "Hey, bro, that was a bad shot," but that's all I mean. Like, I don't mean nothing more. I'm not getting on you or whatnot, but I'm just into the game of basketball. Nobody likes losing.
No.
Nobody like. I don't care who it is.
No.
Nobody can say they're fine with losing.
Like we just got bopped today, like real bad.
Hey, I kept my mic muted.
Hey, boy, we got bopped real bad, man. I wanted to get that back bad, boy. I wanted to get that back bad. But anyway,
Oh
go
man.
ahead.
But yeah, there's no way to really to control it because once a person has a perspective of you, then that's their perspective. But
Mm.
I wish people would see for what it is and not like who I am or whatnot. Because yeah, this is really only one person that that's pointing that perspective really. because a lot of people said, I don't know why Josh is not in the league. And then they bring up, oh, this because of these and such incidents. But then you got X, Y, and Z that's done worse.
Had some incidents too. Yeah, yeah,
They're in it.
yeah. Well,
So
me and you, we talked about it, because you guys, you've been pretty straightforward with me asking, like, bro, no way this person's in, I'm not. And sometimes it is, it's about, who sometimes, that does kind of help, because I know I fought for some, to be in. And then also too, like you and Greg, I say you and Greg, because you and Greg are probably two of the bigger trolls when it comes to that.
mhm.
And can get, and you guys know how to get under people's skin. Like, you guys know how to do it. You guys are very, very good at it. And I think that kind of like carries on, but then you guys are also very unapologetic with it too. Like, it's one of those things of like, man, hey man, so Greg will be quick, man. I ain't gonna be doing all that. You grown. You better, I ain't gonna be, what you crying for? What you crying for? So like, I think that'd be the difference between, I guess y'all situation and then others who can at times just be, my fault, or they'll hit you with a text or something and be like, I was just playing, whatever. They're more apologetic with theirs, and that maybe, I don't know, because to each his own. I know at some point, I was done with most of the people in the chat. That word, the toxic type, or the trolling type. But as far as with you, I think mainly because, number one, we played on the same team. We've had late night runs. Like, I know you're a troll, bro. And
Yeah,
if like, to me, if a person shows who they are, like, because I'll talk about it. BG, when he first came into the group, literally his name was the biggest troll or something like that. It was something to that nature. He
yeah,
called himself the biggest troll. So
yeah,
I was waiting to see, because he said it. And then, initially he was, kind of staying under the radar. I didn't really do much, but then eventually, I guess once he got comfortable, I started seeing it. And I've told people, I'm like, bro, he literally told you who he is. He said he's the biggest troll.
yeah,
And he's another one that literally will troll you to no end, even to the point where when you and him was going back and forth, the biggest troll move he could do for you was get you suspended.
yes,
And to me, that was a win on his, because you guys both were trolling each other. You both were both going at it, but I got to give him the W, because like, he literally took it to another plateau and said, you know what, I'm offended, and
hmm.
that's a huge troll move. Like, go ahead.
You know what's funny about that whole suspension? I asked a few people, like, hey, why did you vote for me to get suspended? You know what they said? Said they said, oh, it's because I didn't want to play against you the next game.
Oh man, that's cold.
It had nothing to do with what I said. It's just, oh, I didn't want to play against you the next game.
Yeah, but that's why, I talked about this in one of the pods too. Like, as a front office person, you have to be able to separate the player from the front office person. But there's a reason why a guy like Adam Silver don't play. It's a conflict. Like, I don't care in any sport, if you're an active participant, or even if you're an owner. Going back to the David Stern thing, like with the Chris Paul and Kobe Bryant thing, he was acting as the commissioner and acting as, at that point, the I think he was the governor basically of the team, because they didn't have an owner. So
Mhm.
like, and he was able to really, it's almost like that's like a conflict of interest, really. So it's very hard for even myself to be a commissioner, but
Yeah,
then at the same time stay even keel and make sure whatever my decision is not based on my competitive advantage, but really just based on like actual truth. And I do hate that kind of happened, because then it just started to play with everybody, just like, man, forget the front office, like, forget, yeah, you guys are jokes, and it kind of put a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth. But I would say for you, if just from a direction standpoint, man, just be you, bro.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, like you can't please everybody.
Yeah.
I've learned that, and I think as long as you stand on your principle and who you are, and but then also know that there's limits too.
Yeah.
There's limits. Because what I do appreciate you is that you do at times kind of stick up for those guys that do get hard. Like the Bryans of the world, like guys be always picking at him, but you're a person that will actually stand up for a Bryant, stand up for a Lee, because at the end of the day, that's what's right. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Because even if they ain't gonna say nothing, you're gonna be like, hey, bro, you boot. You boot. Hey, pick on me, come at me,
Yeah.
bully. Bully the bully is what I be talking
Yeah.
about. Bully the bully.
It's funny that you say that because when I first came in, I don't know if you remember, they tried to do that to me.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure.
And me growing how I grew up, I'm like, I don't really know y'all like that. Y'all ain't gonna be talking to me like that. So that's
Yeah.
when I started
Going.
start talking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I see it because they try to do it to me. They also try to do it to Wayne a little bit,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I'm not gonna allow y'all to do that because I know how it felt when they were doing it to me.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And that's what, like some people they'll laugh at when people are getting like trolled or whatever. They'll laugh. And then when it happens to them, they're hurt about it, and it's like, no, don't do that. Because like you were on over there laughing. Because not get me wrong, some stuff is funny. Sometimes
yeah,
I have to mute my mic. I would literally sometimes like in order to not add to the chaos, I'll just mute my mic and be cackling, because some stuff be funny. But then it do get to a point where like it's over, it's too much. It's like, all right, guys, all right, man, or I leave the chat or whatever the case may be. Go like blending back into basketball real quick, real life,
yeah.
because you are a troll and you can talk trash. Like so on the court, do you talk a little bit or do you wait for other people to talk, or how do you go into that? What do you think about that trash talk?
On the court, I don't say nothing. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really silent unless a person gets me going. But yeah, I'm very silent. I let my game do the talking. You know,
Okay. Yeah. See, I was a talker, and I was quiet until you said something to me,
yeah,
but I was always looking for something though.
yeah,
I was always looking for you to even just look at me wrong. Like you hit a shot and then you give me a look like, you know what I'm saying? Like just something like that. And I'm like, what you looking at me like that for? And you better not respond. Because if you say something, then I'm on. I'm on. I've been waiting on this. Because then after that, it just gave me another level. I always needed that extra level, that extra gear of like, so that's why I like when sometimes the talk comes, even though I'm not like the best 2K player. I ain't garbage, but I ain't the best 2K player. But like that's why I like say, why are you talking? Man, listen, bro. That's what I do. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm gonna talk.
what I will say, I do make little marks though. I'd be like, "Oh, that's broke." You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
that's
Yeah, but see,
all.
yeah.
He with us. I do yell out. I do yell out that stuff during games or whatnot.
Yeah,
But I've never like, hey, bro, you just suck. You know what I'm saying? I
yeah,
just
yeah,
I say it out loud to everybody. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah, yeah. But even that'd be the worst thing too, though. That's actually worse because it's one thing for like let's say because if we're playing, I'm not gonna be matched up against you because you're 6'5", so I'm gonna have another bigger guy guarding you. But let's
yeah,
say if I'm guarding one of your guys and we're going, all of a sudden he with us. Oh, that's all. Don't worry about it. Like it did. That's what I'm like. I'm looking at. I gotta say something to you, but I'm like he way across the court. Like that'd be the worst thing because then I take it out on your guy.
yeah.
Because this happened to me in so many tournaments. I would get like this nice, quiet, humble brother that was guarding me, and
Mm-hmm.
one of his boys was talking, and so I'm talking to him, and then I'm like, I say something to him, and he's just like, "Oh, what you say, brother?" Oh man, come on, man, don't talk to me like that, brother. What's your name? Like, being all nice and civil and everything else. I used to absolutely hate that. I used to absolutely hate that. Like, give me something back. Give me something back.
Yeah.
So, like, that's going back to 2K real quick. We got a lot of guys who say that they're one of them ones.
Yeah.
Who do you think is one of the more overrated players in the 2K league or 2Ks that we have, and who do you feel is undervalued, like one of the probably the more undervalued or underrated players? And
Yeah,
tell me why.
I have two. But people are gonna be like, I can't believe you said this. But this is all love, man. This is all love. When y'all see this is all love. I ain't gonna lie. I think Greg and Chris.
Mm,
I'll be honest with you. Greg, I say because Greg is good. He's very good at the game. But since season one, what has he done? He shared an MVP, so he wasn't even
mm.
the best player in the league. He shared it with Yo, right?
Yeah, that's yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. So he shared an MVP, and what has he done since then? And he claims himself as one of them ones. Nobody has said that. Oh, I've never said it for him.
Yeah.
But he gave himself that title. I feel like if you give yourself that title, you're really not one of them ones. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Chris Chris plays the same on every build. Besides, of course, a big man because you know,
Yeah, it gotta be a little different.
yeah. But like, if Chris were to make a small forward, no shots, Chris. This is just me seeing your game and how I see it. You know what I'm saying? But he he plays the same way on every build. Like, and I don't see that person as being one of the ones. Yes, he does score. Don't get me wrong. He scores a lot of points, but it ain't nothing special. Anybody can put the ball in the hoop. You know what I'm saying? And
And to speak to that real quick, as far as the overrated part, because what we're referencing to, like just for the viewers, is more when someone is oversold almost. You know what I'm saying? Because it's one like these, because what he's saying is like these players are good. Like they're not bad, they're good, but you can be oversold to being like, out of this world when really you're good. You're really good, but you ain't great, put it that way. Like there's levels to it. Like to me, there is levels to it, so going from overrated. So who do you feel like is underrated, like somebody who does not get enough credit for how good they are?
I hate to say it, but I think I'm the
Oh, oh no, man. Don't you get love.
I do at certain points, but like I don't know if you remember this. We was in a chat. It was me, you, um, I think a Jonte, Greg, and somebody, Yote, and a few others. I don't remember who else, but we had this conversation of like, who do you think the best players in the chat or whatnot is for certain positions, and I don't think I was on one of them, but big men.
Oh,
And Yote made a comment.
yeah. I
When Yote
remember.
made a comment,
Yeah.
he was like, you said, what about Josh
Yeah.
for like one of the guard positions or whatnot, one of the wing positions?
Yeah.
He was like, I never really matched up against Josh. I don't remember how he played like on guard. You know what I'm saying? And last year I had guards and stuff, but
Yeah.
at the beginning of 2K, all I had was a big and a little point guard, but I hated playing on him.
Yeah.
Yote is actually the reason why I made Kobe.
Oh,
Why? Because that fueled me, and I was like, I'm gonna give him a reason to put
yeah.
my name on that list.
Yeah.
It just so happened every time we match up, every time we play, he's guarding me. So when I see Yo, it's
Okay.
always I'm getting 40.
It's go. It's up. Tell them it's up.
Yo is the reason why I made Kobe.
No,
So
that Kobe bill is tough too.
yeah,
Quick, tough. What was the mid range? 90? Is it
95, I think.
95? Yeah. you actually one of the ones that you and Lion, because my I was the first of all, let me say this. I was the guy who had the mid range last year. I'm the one, like you remember last year, I had a 91 mid range. Everybody's like, why you put all that mid range on that bill and blah, blah, blah. You only need a 75. And now this year, everybody has came over into the mid range, right?
Yeah.
And you and Lion has, man, Lion is you and Lion really have really, Yoke has always been a solid mid range anyway. But as far as like just moving off of it, whew, Lion's a little bit better than you on it, but you're like right there with him, like from a mid-range perspective. And when I seen your 95 bill, that's when I said, you know what, man, I got to go get this mid-range. Got to go get a mid-range. Got to go get it. And I think I didn't do 95, I did like 93. But either way, the mid-range, and I said this too. Well, I'm gonna ask you this question and then I'll talk about you a little bit. Because I feel like you're one of the more versatile
Yeah.
players. And like you can play multiple, really all five positions. And it's not like you're a bad big but a good point, or a bad point and a good big. Like it's literally like you are good on all positions. Of course, a lot of that's going to come from you actually play ball.
Yeah.
But who do you feel like is one of those more versatile? Like who's outside of yourself? Who do you feel like is a very good versatile that can play any, that's really good or solid on any build they play on?
So I would say there's only a couple. It's not really a lot. I would say Ajante, definitely Austin, because Austin has played on multiple builds
Mm-hmm.
and played very well on them. Um, who else plays on multiple builds? Yeah, I think I think only them two. I think, yeah, yeah. Because what other players play multiple positions? There isn't a lot.
I mean, yeah, or at least that are good at it. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
that are
yeah.
good
That's
at
the
it.
that's the
Yeah,
piece. Because some people are really good guards, and then they just can't play big, or they may
yeah,
be good, really good bigs, or solid bigs, and then maybe solid or really good at point, but then just solid big. But I think that Austin has proven that he can play any build and be a threat and be a problem. You as well. And what's the name you just said? Ajante. Like I don't
okay.
know about Ajante on big though. I haven't. I've actually played with him playing
Mhm.
big, but I don't. He doesn't. I haven't seen him enough to say like he can be a dominant force if he played big like full time. So I haven't. I don't know that part, but I know other than that, lock anything on the like wing player, guard player, like yeah, like he's a problem. He's a problem. So with that being said, so this is the thing I play with the guests here. Um, we call it Voltron.
Yeah,
You're gonna create your own personal Voltron. So what this is that you got to excluding yourself. You're gonna take pieces from everybody's game and you're going to make a Voltron. So what that's going to look like is you're going to pick somebody's handles, you're going to pick someone's scoring, you're going to pick someone's playmaking, finishing, and defense. And then you're going to put all that into one player, and that's going to be our Voltron of a player, like of my player, thinking
all right.
about 2K perspective. All right. And
Okay.
that's people who play in the league. Now we're talking about league play. To my league
Yeah.
play. All right. So let's start with handles. Who handles you getting? Who handles you taking?
I'm taking Ajante's handles.
Mm. I figured you would say that. Yeah,
He's
he
he's he's,
saucy.
he's by
He's
far
saucy.
he's I think he's by far the only one that's close to me in
Mm.
handles wise. I would think so. I mean, he does it a little like a tad bit better, but
I'm trying to think is who else be doing that? Yeah, but Austin's almost there, but just
he
not
does
as
more
quick.
bullying.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, Jonte is. I remember it was funny because and he's prideful too, and competitive. We was
Mhm.
playing fives one day, and I was boxing him up a couple possessions, like boxing him, And literally, next thing you know, he started going at my neck, bro. I mean, I couldn't do nothing. I was like, oh my goodness, boy, he scored by 8 straight. And so we
Yeah.
came to the chat. I was like, how you? I said, what happened, man? I made you mad, man. He said, yeah, man, I ain't want you to think you can guard me. It's like, got me a couple times, but nah, bro. He tough. He tough. He real tough.
Yeah, for sure, for
All
sure.
right. So Ajante handles scoring ability. Who's gonna get the scoring?
Scoring in what aspect? Like 3 levels or just
Oh yeah, all of it, 3 level, everything, post bag. I mean, just scoring and all. Who can just put it on?
um I wanna say Oz, but I need him for playmaking.
I mean, if you want to get them for both, I mean, you can get them for both.
Nah, I can't do that. Can't do that.
And get,
I can't give them
credit.
both. Can't
Yes,
give
a
them
lot of
both.
credit, a lot of credit to give, man. I understand competitively, that's a lot.
Can't give them both.
That's
Can't
a
give them
lot.
both. Um, uh, scoring. All right, can I break it up?
Nah, bro, you gotta pick. You gotta choose. You gotta choose a side. You gotta pick a side, man.
Who can do all 3 levels, man? I'm gonna go with Greg.
Greg, I respect that.
I'm
I
gonna go with
respect that because that boy, that's one thing he can do.
yeah,
So you add that with a Ajante handles and then put his he got a nice little bunny hop with the hop step. You
yeah.
know, got a post spin, not or so yeah, I agree. He can score the rock. Playmaking, pass,
Austin. I'll go
awesome.
with Austin
Yeah,
because Austin he sees when he wants to. When he wants to, he can dissect the game.
yeah,
But if he's in that mode, oh, you ain't getting that rock.
yeah.
Yeah, but
One thing I do, and this is the competitive side of it. I respect Austin's IQ so much because even when we matched up in the finals last year,
yeah,
I had to create a full out game plan against this guy.
yeah,
And even then when I created it, he would come with different plays. And I know, I talked to JP and they all kind of had their own, their input on it as well. But
yeah,
Austin's the one that ran the show. And going against him, especially like, they're about to do that in the finals now. I told James, I was like, bro, make sure y'all are ready. Like, don't go in. I hate when people go in just thinking, oh, it's another game. No, brother. Like, you here now.
yeah.
Like, make it count. You didn't put all this time in, make it count. Like, so Austin is the guy, he's gonna be prepared though. Like Austin's gonna be ready, George is gonna be ready. They're gonna be, they're gonna be ready. So yeah, he's a playmaker for sure. Finishing, dunking,
Mm.
laying it up, acrobating it, finishing.
Finishing. I mean, there's only one person that has his eyes focused on finishing and nothing else. And that is Robbie. Um, can I take Robbie from?
Yeah, it's spirit. Yeah, oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah.
I'll take Robbie from last year.
Mm-hmm.
This year, it's kind of bad.
Yeah,
But
but see, last year he had that 99. He did
yeah,
he went into it last year, 99 driving dunk. So he
I
wasn't
think
stopping that.
last year, yeah.
Yeah. So I rock with that. And last but not least, what I feel is the most important aspect of the game, defense.
Defense. I'm gonna I'm gonna go with this one person because he focuses on defense the most, and that is George.
I think he's gonna say George. Yeah, yeah.
He pride in that. He'd be like, that's a steal, bro. You know how George.
That's
You know how you go. Yeah. So yeah,
so
I'll go with George.
all right,
George.
so handles, you got Ajante, scoring, you said Greg, playmaking, Austin, finishing, Robbie, defense, George. And
Yep.
that's the Voltron. Man, that's tough. That's tough. I'm gonna see if somebody can top that. All right, last thing. This is the last thing, and I'm gonna let you go. So if you're creating, and now you're putting yourself in this, this is gonna be your team, right? And we're talking about 2K and who you're gonna surround yourself. So this is gonna be Josh's best lineup. So you're gonna start by picking what position you're gonna play first, like what position you're gonna play, whether it's 1 through 5, and then who are you surrounding yourself with, and what position will they play?
Okay. I'm I'm gonna play small forward. I'm gonna put the build on. I'm gonna put Scotty build.
Okay, locking up.
I'm gonna be the glue, or whatnot. my team would be Ajante at 1.
Okay.
Um, I'm gonna go with Terrence.
Mm.
With Terrence,
T. At
yeah,
the what?
I'm gonna go with him at. I'm going with him at, on his Paul George build because
PG. Yeah,
yeah.
tough. Tough.
So you got a 2-way. You
Another
got
two-way. Yep. Yep.
my center. See, I think about chemistry wise,
Mhm.
not always talent. Um, Center wise, I'm gonna go. I might go. I'm gonna go with Austin on the center.
Okay.
Austin on the center.
I like it.
He's probably the only center. You two, I'll throw you in there. Y'all two probably the only centers that can't shoot that I'll play with. Like
Yeah.
anybody else, I can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like y'all are probably the only people I will actually play in a game with that can't shoot.
Can't shoot.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
I got one coming for you too, by the way. That can't he wait till I get the shot right. He's coming.
I hear you. I hear you. Power forward. Uh, who has a good power forward slash small forward mix? There isn't really a lot of power forward. Can I go double center?
Yeah, I mean, you can put it. Hey, this your lineup. So I mean, you want to win. So like, what's your lineup? So you already know Austin can't shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, Austin can't shoot. But him and Ajante run the PNR. That's gonna be crazy.
Um. All right. I'm small forward Scotty,
Okay.
but I'm gonna play the power forward.
All right, you're gonna play the 4.
I'm gonna throw Tyler in there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. At the 3. Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. Or 2. He can play the 2, and then T can play the 3.
And if not Tyler,
No, hold on now. Okay, don't be switching up now. You gotta pick it now.
I gotta throw him in there because he plays a big part in any team he's on. Neil.
Mm, mm,
And back to what you said earlier, Neil is actually another underrated player. I would say he
yeah,
does literally everything. He
yeah,
touches every category:
yeah,
points, rebounds, steals, blocks, assists.
yeah,
He does it all,
yeah.
and he doesn't call for the ball. He plays within the
Role
game.
plays his role. He plays his role. I mean, that like that Draymond Green type deal. And I
Yeah.
guess that's why they didn't want him to play on my team. I guess that's why. That's why they.
They always hate the glue guy. The glue guy gets everybody else around them going.
Yep, yep, yep. So, so, so there we have it. There we have it. So, man, first of all, I appreciate you, joining the show. I really, really appreciate it. Like I told you before, you held on to your word too. So I appreciate that as well. Man, y'all get off Josh, man. Y'all get off Josh, bro. You know
No
what I'm saying?
man.
You know what I'm saying, man? Like, watch your narrative, man. Watch your narrative. Like, and not to mention, I love your list too, by the way. Your lineup, that's gonna be a tough. So, but I gotta hold your feet to the fire though, because you brought up Neil. So
Mhm.
who are you picking?
I'm not gonna lie, I might go with Neil.
Neil. So defense over a shooter.
Yeah,
Hey,
I
I
got it.
respect. I
I got it.
respect.
Because
I,
Neil's gonna. Because Neil, surprisingly, Neil has IQ,
oh yeah, yeah,
which is very surprising because a lot of people that didn't. 'Cause I don't know if Neil never really taught. He plays basketball, but he doesn't play basketball.
right, yeah, yeah, yeah,
That
yeah,
is like to be a good basketball player or whatnot.
yeah.
And the things Neil say, I'm like, man, for a person that never really played like
He
levels of basketball, he knows a lot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think that's probably been the growth part for Neil too, because when he played for CLB Neil, they always say this ain't CLB Neil. This ain't CLB Neil. Like they always say that. So
Yeah.
like, yeah, he's tough. He's tough. He's tough. Once again, I guess that's why they want to play on my team. But anyway, hey guys, we want to know what you think. Like, eventually, we'll have some more people on. We'll talk about the Voltron. So what you think about Josh's Voltron? Is it boot or was it actually really good? And also what you think about that lineup? Like, who would you put against that lineup to defend that and then also score on that? Because I think that's a tough, that lineup is tough. I mean, PNR, you got Terrence, you got Neil. I mean, defensively, Josh gonna pick you up 94 feet. Oh yeah, that's tough. That's real tough. But anyway, man, hey, like I said, brother, I appreciate you joining us, man. Watch your narrative. Truth told by Josh. The truth was told by Josh, man. We'll holler at y'all.